walked outside and he got changed. So I'm going to show you what he looked like first. Okay, so that's Jim Lario when he went out, and this was Jim Lario when he came in. Now, before he came back in, I had set it up and I said, he's coming. I know it's going to be sometime during this class. I'm not really sure when. And then when I knew he was dressed, I peeked out the door and I went, oh, he's here, you know. So I went and I got Jim Lario and I said, you have to walk, talk, you have to be Waldo Willoughby. And when I told the kids that the character name was the new student's name was Waldo Willoughby, a couple kids snickered. And I said, so why are you laughing? You know, oh, nothing, because they don't want to be politically incorrect. But actually, in this case, you want them to be a little bit. Like, when an author is designing those names, the author, he or she, is trying to get them to picture something in particular. So I said, it's not judgmental at all. So what did you, well, Waldo's a really unusual name. Like weird? Yeah, really weird. Okay, Willoughby, Waldo Willoughby sounds like a little, well, what would you expect? And then the kids say, well, you know, I kind of expect somebody a little nerdy, and then they would tell me things. And then I said, oh, all right, well, we'll see if this person meets or blows your expectations. You never know. Anyway, so I brought him in, and he played it great, you know, because he stood by the door, and I had to, like, really pull him in. So when he came in looking like that, the whole class roared. Now, they're allowed to make fun of this kid who would never allow them to make fun of him under other circumstances, but now he's Waldo, right? So he came in, and I said, all right, Waldo, they have some questions for you. Would you like me to get the call on people, or do you want to? And he said, you do it. And he had like a nasal kind of thing, like, oh, you doing? I'm a little nervous, you know. So then they would laugh at that. So then the kids started asking questions, and then they said, you know, do you have a friend? He goes, well, I have an invisible friend, Fred. Do you play sports? He said he played chess. Well, I couldn't have planned this myself, but there was a kid in the back of the room who, when the kid said, do you play sports? And he said, well, I play chess. The kid in the back went, oh, I play chess. And he ran up like this and high-fived Jim, and the two of them did it in a real nerdy kind of way. And they went, oh, maybe you could be my friend. And he went back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I were filming this anyway. So anyway, I said, they asked him what kind of music he liked. He said country music. And then I said, oh, Waldo, you like country music? And he said, oh, yes. And I said, well, could you do a little dance for us here? And I thought he'd say no. And I was okay with that, because I said, oh, I know it's your first day. You know, maybe later on you can do it. But he didn't. He said, oh, yes. And he looked more like a Russian dance. He kind of put his arms up and he kind of kicked his legs all over. And the kids are like not contained at all. You know, so he gets finished, but then they come right back because they're ready for the next question. So as soon as that was finished, and that whole thing took about 7 minutes. And then I had him take all of his things off. And he said, oh, can I please wear this? You know, and I said, no, because now I want him to become Jim Lario and then do the assignment that everybody else is doing. So the assignment was an Amy Buckner assignment, and she wrote the book called Notebook Know-How, really good writer's notebook book. And it was called 3 and 3. So I said, what I want you to do is I want you to now, for the next 3 minutes, write down 3-word phrases that tell you what you learned about this character. Did I get any 5'2" brown hair? Absolutely not. So this is what I got. Watches Jimmy Neutron. Needs thick glasses. Has invisible friend. His invisible friend's name was Fred, by the way, but the kid couldn't put that in because I said it could only be 3 words. Takes advanced classes, wears yellow spinner hat, and loves country music. Now, they have just developed an awesome character. You know, this is going to be a character that they're going to use in a piece that they're going to write later on. You know, you're going to get some nice descriptions. So, I was feeling great because I had done this now maybe 4 times when I went into the 5th class. It was an 8th grade class, and it was the upper level kids. And I have found that a lot of times the higher level kids aren't as much of a risk-taking group as the ones that aren't, because they want to make sure they're doing everything right. So anyway, I went in, asked the same question of the teacher, and I said, you know, who does this MO fit? Went around, asked all 3, and nobody would do it, because I'm saying, if you do it, you have to do anything I say. And they're like, they didn't even know me, you know. So, you know, they're going, I thought, oh no, you because I was all excited, now my lesson is blown. So I thought, all right, well, let's just try it the other way. And they didn't know that I had asked, except the 3 people that I asked. So what I did was, when everybody got in the class, I wrote Waldo Willoughby on the board. And I said, I want you to assume that today a new student is joining your class, and the new student's name is Waldo Willoughby. You know? So I want you to think about what kind of a person Waldo Willoughby might be. You know, what kinds of things. And I did have people say things out loud that they thought that might fit that name, Waldo Willoughby. And then I said, all right, I said, for the next 3 minutes, I want you to write 3 or 4 word phrases about this particular character. So they all wrote, and this is what one of the students wrote. And her name was Heather Carbo, 8th grader, and she wrote, buff, chick magnet, chills at diners, has big pecs, is class president, gets with ladies, and treated like superstar. And I said, Waldo Willoughby? Because I'm trying to teach how the name goes with a character. And she said, well, people aren't always what they seem. So I went, all right, I can live with that. So there would be her description of a character that she would use in another piece. All right? All right, now on the next page you have a little house. Some of these I said you're going to write, and some of them you're just going to set the pages up as if you were doing them, and this is one of those. So